Wild Safe Studios, a wholly owned subsidiary of... How the fuck do you say that? Exonition LLC proudly presents the Dick Effin Rocket Esquire Show Report Thing, with music by Alpha Lanker.
Inaugural Pitch Pod. First guest, Jeremy Lasman. Jeremy, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. So we're going to jump right into it. 4 screens: management, market, capitalization, technology. Hot to cold spectrum. My opinion is management is the most important thing when someone is considering investing in a new startup, a tech startup, a company like Jeremy's. So here's the first question for you, sir. Who is your management? Who are your co-founders? And then second part of that, it's a two-parter. Why are you best fit to build this business? Why'd you build this business?
Yeah, so my name is Jeremy Lasman. I'm the CEO, and my partner is Mars Lucetta. He's our CTO. We started Quantum Star Systems to fix a broken promise. The quantum industry tells businesses to wait 10 years for a quantum advantage. We built the software to deliver that value today. My background is in mission critical engineering at Spacex, and Mars is the technical architect who built our core IP. We execute by combining that move fast discipline with deep science. Our vision is to be the essential software bridge that lets any enterprise achieve quantum level ROI on today's hardware.
Awesome. Okay, market, second screen. Are you pre-rev? Do you have clients? Who do you have? What can you talk about with respect to revenue? If you have revenue, just don't give me an exact dollar amount, just what range of revenue. And then the second part of that would be TAM, total addressable market.
Sure. So we are pre-revenue, but we are post-validation. Our go-to-market is our product. We call it the dual ROI flywheel. We land clients with a paid quantum readiness assessment, or QRAT, that uses our AI to find 20 to 30% in savings on their existing systems. And then we expand by using those savings to fund a multi-million-dollar quantum software integration. So our market isn't the whole world. It's a focused bottom-up plan. We're targeting the 4,000 companies in the US, EU, finance, and healthcare who have that impossible problem, which we project is a 15 million ARR opportunity in 3 years.
Excellent. Okay. When do you think you'll be revenue generating?
Like within the next 30 to 90 days, at least.
Awesome. Excellent. So just to be clear, those that are listening, this is not some just idea stage. This might be early, but it's not an idea. This is an actual technology that exists. And just to be clear, I have no vested interest in this. I have no equity in this company. I would like to have equity in the company, but I do not have equity in the company. Third screen, capitalization. Who's on your cap table? Do the founders have skin in the game? I know that you're former SpaceXer, that you have probably got some stock, some money from the exiting on that. I assume maybe you put a little bit of that. I'd like to hear about that actually. Why you would sell SpaceX stock to put money on yourself is an interesting question. But I would actually like to know who's on your cap table. If you can share anybody by name. If you don't have angel investors or investors, why is that?
Yeah, so the cap table is clean. It's just us founders. Mars and I have funded the company entirely to this point. So we have 100% skin in the game. Our focus was R&D all the way to develop what we've done. So we did this very intentionally. We refused to be another VC-funded science project with no path to revenue. We waited until we had a proven business model, the QRAT flywheel, and validated it on our software stack. And we've done that. Now we're raising our first institutional round, 18 million. So this, I want to make it clear, this isn't R&D money. This is a go-to-market round to hire the sales team and scale our software platform.
Excellent. Great answer. Okay, that actually is a good segue into what we call the fourth screen. And no offense to you being a technologist, Mars being a scientist technologist, but the fourth screen, the reason why we say the fourth screen technology is the fourth screen, because our belief is you have an A team and have a B business model or B technology, the A team will figure out how to adjust, adapt, pivot as needed. So with that said, though, I'm a tech nerd. I love technology. Tell me about your products and or services. What's the TRL, so to speak, for those that are listening and don't know what that means? It's sort of an old NASA technical readiness level kind of concept. Where are we at with the technology? What are your products and services? And then the second part to that is, what is your moat?
Yes. So our core product is our go-to-market platform. So the QRAT that I mentioned, it's the SaaS tool our clients use to find immediate classical ROI, but our moat is our proprietary integration layer. You can think of it like the Rosetta Stone for quantum. So it's a hardware agnostic software layer that connects our AI models and the client's data to any quantum hardware, whether it's IBM, IonQ, Google. This is what makes us the best. A client's engineers don't need to be quantum physicists. They just write code, and our platform routes the problem to the best fit hardware. Our moat is that we are the only company that simplifies quantum into a practical revenue-generating software tool.
Excellent. Great answer. Now, here's a question for you. I didn't send you this one, but you'll be able to do it. It's the last question. I've got two young children. They're both under 12 years old. How would you pitch this to them? How would you explain this business to them? Because some of the people in my network have capital and would maybe want to invest in you, but they don't have the technical expertise, the knowledge to understand what you're getting at. They don't know anything about quantum. They don't even know what a reusable launch vehicle is, but maybe they might want to financially support you or at least understand your business model. So imagine you're pitching it to an 8-year-old child. What would you say that you do?
Wow. I love this question. And I can come at this from like two different sides, because one side is like, what is the biggest dream that you have? The biggest dream that you have. And that's like one route. But really, like, if I'm talking to, I guess, more of a grounded 8-year-old, it's what is the biggest problem you see in the world? What is like the biggest problem? No limits.
What if they say when my mother tells me I have to go to bed early?
Right. That is like the biggest problem for an 8-year-old, right? So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about quantum computing. Is we're thinking beyond the limits of what is currently possible when we think about the way we think about problems. So in any industry, there is classical computing for what sort of problems we think about when we're entertaining the limits of technology. But with quantum, we can step outside of that box and start to dream bigger solutions that current data architectures just cannot support, because the complexities are out there. And this is where it starts to get sci-fi, because Star Trek was a huge inspiration for me growing up. And when you start to consider the idea of generating atoms from nothing, holographic simulations, and the what was it called, the not the molecularizer, where he got the T, the name of the
I'm more of
just
a
going to
Star
kill me.
Wars guy, but I appreciate
Star
the
Wars.
Trek. Yeah. I mean, there was. I just remember setting the guns to stun.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
you have matter trap. You have teleportation devices. I mean, you have beam me up, Scotty. I mean, we're getting kind of in that world, right?
That's where all of this starts to go, because we're getting deeper than molecular. We're getting inside the atoms. What we think of it, with 3D printing, for example, we can create things from 3D printing. Now talk about elements and chemistry and molecules, and it opens up our imagination for what is the next generation of technology, when computing power is not our blunt force kind of like parallel scaling issue that we're having right now, and just bigger and bigger data centers, because the limit is like the computing parallelism is our limit right now, and we can blunt force that. We are humans, but this is a fundamental rethink of how we use computing power and what it comes from.
And then I lied. I'm going to ask one more question, and that is this: how far out chronologically have you put thought into your business model? 10 years, 20 years, 50? Because you worked for a guy named Elon Musk who famously thinks in 10 years out all the time. So how is your business model 10 years out, 20 years out, 100 years out? What is it? And maybe it's a year out. Maybe it's 5 years out.
Yeah. 5 to 10 years, it starts to get blurry because the way I think is actually nonlinear. And so I think in the realm of quantum, but that doesn't change the fact that, like, to have hardware in the vision, we want to build our own cloud. I don't want to confuse the issue too much of like the big vision versus like our practical strategy right now.
Yeah.
But it just opens up, like, where we see that we're going is computing power, democratized in such a way that the way Tesla is talking about it perfectly syncs up with the idea of sustainable abundance, because that's all the realms that it goes down into. Is we can go along those highways.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Jeremy. Is there anything else you want to say? Otherwise, we can wrap this up. You're inaugural guest for Pitch Pod. I couldn't have asked for a better interview. Just for those who are watching now, we did this interview before, but I wasn't happy with it. I thought it was actually too long. It's not that Jeremy and I can't talk. We both like to talk. But the fact of the matter is, we respect the time of the people that are listening to this and watching this. And the whole idea of Pitch Pod is to get talented entrepreneurs like Jeremy in front of people that might be able to support them, or at least want to do preliminary due diligence and potentially get involved in that $18 million round. Or even it might be in the press that want to cover Jeremy's QSS. They want to cover the company in the tech or financial press, or maybe that they want to be recruited and hired and they're excited about working on something like this, or they have they want to be advisors. There's a lot of different ways that one can invest in, but this is directly, the idea is to do a capital raise. That's what we're most excited about. Any last parting words, Mr. Lasman?
Yeah. The final kind of thing I want to just frame here in terms of our vision, we kind of want to change the narrative in a way that, because artificial intelligence is currently the big bubble right now of hype. Quantum computing is the next generation. It is what's coming up next. It's the next wave. Quantum star systems exist to not just kind of like, what can we do with artificial intelligence, but helping people see that quantum computing is really about computing like the universe does. And we want to make humanity unstoppable. And that's how we do it, is computing like the universe.
That's so cool, man. I love that. And I think I don't want to ruin the moment by adding something. I will finish by saying thank you, sir. That's beautifully put. And then I can't wait to see QSS explode alongside the growth of humanity. Thank you, sir. Hey, everybody. So this is Dick F. and Rocket. I'm wearing my power suit that I got at Hugo Boss. And here I am with none other than the co-host and my business partner, Alva Lenker. Hey, everybody. Look at Alva Lenker. Can I hear you?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Look at that. It's the same guy that had the brilliant introduction. How the fuck do you say explanations? Here's the thing. I promised Alva Lenker, we're both kind of tired. I promised this wouldn't be a long thing. We didn't have time to wash our balls or whatever. So here's what I have to say. I fucked up on that interview with Jeremy. And the reason why I fucked up is because I was focusing too much on just his business and I wanted to give him the floor. But I should have asked him, and Alva and I were just talking about this. I should have asked him, right, Alva? I should have asked him, what did you learn when you worked for none other than Elon fucking Musk from 2006 to 2013? He was the 111th employee at SpaceX as a technologist. What the fuck did you learn? He literally was in meetings, just the two of them, talking about like reusable launch vehicles, and my dumb ass didn't even ask that. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I think that would have been an appropriate way to start the interview.
Like, okay, example. Okay. And also I told Jeremy, I'm like, when you're pitching to investors, wouldn't it be cool to be like, well, as Elon once told me, blah, 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 right? Like, am I right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And like, let's just make up one. Maybe like this. As Elon once told me, do a ton of ketamine at the presidential inauguration. And I was like, I shouldn't do that. He's like, it works for me. I'm worth $500 billion.
Yeah. They didn't teach that in school. So.
What?
They didn't teach us that in school. So
right. You don't learn that at Stanford Business School. But honestly, on a serious note, Elon might have said something like this. When you're building technology that people don't understand, don't dumb it down to the lowest common denominator. But you have to be able to communicate it at a level that someone who might be a 3-star general for the Department of Defense or the President of the United States or what's that?
It's the Department of War now.
Department of War. I work for the Department of Peace. We're competing for budget. They have about $1 trillion budget. I have about a $1 budget because war is better than peace, of course. Anyway, whoever you're fucking talking to, right? Whoever the fuck you're talking to, Avalanker, you got to be able to explain. That was the thing about the thing with Jeremy. I was like, and not to throw him under the bus, he's not here to defend himself, but I love the guy. But I was just like, look, dude, when I asked you the fucking question, explain to my 8-year-old daughter what your company does. He literally was talking like quantum physics. I'm like, you're giving my daughter, she's very smart, but I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I was thinking like, you got to dumb it down even more. So Elon Musk, Peter Thiel in his book 0 to 1 said Elon Musk is the greatest salesperson in the world. So if you're selling say it again.
Great book.
Great book. Why'd you like it?
I thought it was pretty great for startup business. I started my own business, so I had great advice.
So your audio is kind of cutting in and out, unfortunately. I don't want to make it. For those of you that don't know, Avalanker, he's a brilliant musician, and he knows a lot about audio engineering, and I don't want him to go crazy because he's very tired and it's late. But here's what I have to say to you. I want to hear what you have to say. Maybe... Notice if you move around, it's kind of cutting it out. So maybe just like be close to the mic.
All right. How's this?
That's better. Okay, so we're in agreement. 0 to 1, kick-ass book. Do you remember the whole conversation about complex sales, personal sales, that shit?
Yes.
Remember he said Elon was a master of complex sales, which is it's like more than $1 million in sales. Like personal sales, like $10,000, and then touchless sales is like less than 10,000.
Yes.
So Elon Musk is selling like huge money shit, right? Grok and Boring Company and Tesla. So Jeremy, I'm like, did Elon ever talk to you about selling? Because it's like, bro, you're raising 18 million fucking dollars. You're selling, it's complex sales. And the thing about complex sales is you need to meet people in person. But the other thing was like, when you're dealing with a complex topic like quantum computing and you're talking to an intelligent VC or investment banker or angel fund manager or high net worth individual who doesn't know a lot about quantum computing, you got to use analogies, dude. You got to be like, you know how like this is like this? Well, this is like this. Like dumb. He didn't do that. And again, I'm not trying to shit on him. It's just like if I were to explain to you, like when I explain to people like what reusable launch vehicles are, I'm like, dude, don't overcomplicate it. It's just like the rockets are just like trucks and they're delivering packages. that are satellites. People are like, oh, it's rocket science. It's so complicated. It is fucking complicated. If you dig into the weeds of the rocket fuel and thing called avionics, which is like controlling the rocket landing on a drone, that's just mad complicated. But when you take a step back from it, it's just a fucking truck delivering a package. So like,
I agree.
What was that?
You know who's really good at that? Miku Kaku, the physicist. He always makes really simple analogies. Like the universe, like a bunch of bubbles. You know?
Exactly. And the audio is a little shitty, by the way, but don't worry about that. We'll clean it up in post. We won't. Just leave it. So what I was going to say is this: like great teachers. Einstein, Richard Feynman, this gentleman you just said, like great teachers take super complex things and they simplify them. Shitty teachers take simple things and overcomplicate them. And so I was saying to Jeremy, and we can wrap this up in a minute because I only wanted to do like a minute, but we could talk for hours. This is great, by the way, Alvalenka. Thank you so much. By the way, for people that don't know, he and I spent about 7 days working on this script. Just kidding. We're impromptu. We're just running with this shit. And what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't want to try to make this thing perfect. The music's too loud. Why are you wearing an alien onesie? He's not even shaven. Just relax, people. At the end of the day, this guy. At the end of the day, man, does anyone ever watch anything anymore? Isn't it just all AI-driven slop? No. The whole thing is, we have brilliant shit to say. This guy and I have brilliant shit to say, and stay with us. Don't bail yet. Like, subscribe, comment, and if you got a pair of balls in the brain or ovaries, dear God. Oh, we lost him. Where'd you go? You disintegrated.
I'm here.
Okay, now you're audio only. Okay, they're back. Dear God, go to Substack. I don't know how the fuck to do it, but go to Substack, become a paid subscriber, and this guy and I won't have to do shitty jobs in addition to helping you understand how to make money in the stock market, because that's what we're honestly doing. I will end by saying that we are going to explore a lot of different topics in this whole pitch podcast report show thing. It's not just going to be space companies, but that's sort of the spine of it. We're also going to talk to musicians, and we're going to talk to creatives, and we're going to talk to philosophers, we're going to talk to scientists and mathematicians, we're going to talk to social media influencers and some celebrities that are in my network or will be in my network. We're going to talk to like personal trainer of Lil Wayne. I'm talking to on LinkedIn right now. What's up, Josh? Anyway, what I'm saying is like we're going to be talking to a lot of different people, but at the end of the day, we're focusing on authenticity. And no more lies and bullshit, and not just trying to look a certain way and project perfection. And so I wanted to do this thing as a tag on to the previous video, because I was like, man, I didn't ask him that question. And I want people to know that that's how I'm thinking. Now, if you do watch this, please, dear God, I know you, if you're cool enough and you write like, in the comments, you want to put like or awesome show or this is great. That's okay, right, Alvalenka? That's like okay. But you know what would be better? If they wrote like, hey, would you ask him this? Or hey, it would have been cool if you asked him this. Don't just put like the music's too loud. Okay, we know we had like an hour to throw this shit together. But I'm just saying, like, we know that. It's like, what questions would you have liked for me to have asked? Or even post a question like asking to Jeremy, like, hey, man, can a non-accredited investor get in on this round? Or, hey, man, do you have a pitch deck? Or, hey, man, like you worked at SpaceX. What was it like working with Elon Musk? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just me and Alvalenka. This is a communal thing. Anyway, Alvalenka, you got anything to add before we wrap this up, dude?
No, I would just say, check the description, and the links are in the description.
And that's why I have Alvalenka, because I can't even promote properly. I didn't even have the links originally, and the name of this thing is wrong. It shouldn't be the Dick Evan Rocky Show. It literally should be like former SpaceX executive startup. Like that's what people be like, oh yeah, I'll click on that. This is dork Dick Rock. Who the fuck is this asshole? Anyway, that's it, man. Thank you.